Yo, what is going on, guys? LegiTK here, and what the hell is wrong with Infinity Ward? I'm gonna say this right out the bat. This is gonna be a little bit of a rant video. If you don't want to hear any of this, then turn it off. I don't really care. I want to get this out. I want to bring some. I don't know. I just want to bring some knowledge and be like, wondering what the hell Infinity Ward is thinking. And I'm going off of this because I don't know what was going through their minds. They created this game to be one of the best Call of Duties ever, and it's a bunch of bullcrap. And this is strictly because of the maps. I hate the maps with a passion, and if you look back at the past Call of Duties, you'll understand why I'm saying this, and I don't know what the hell was going through their heads. I don't know. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-boggling. It is ridiculous that they thought these were good ideas for maps. They prided themselves on having awesome maps that were dynamic and had huge elements that just made people enjoy the game, enjoy the maps, enjoy the flow of the game better. And there's nothing but lies. I remember watching videos and they were pride about that. They were so happy about their maps being so dynamic and so cool and people love them, and that's a bunch of bullshit. Infinity Ward, you guys are insane if you think these are good maps. You are insane if you think this was a good idea, because it is a bunch of bullshit. If you look back at all the past Call of Duties, every single one of them, and you see which maps were played the most, which maps people enjoyed the most, the maps that people loved to play the most were always the small maps. People love the small maps. People enjoy the small, fast-paced, action-packed maps that have been so fun in Call of Duty. That's why people enjoy Call of Duty. It's always been the small maps. People always skipped, always left, always hated the huge maps, and yet here's their game. 70% of the maps were massive. 70% of the maps were terrible, are terrible. Actually, all their maps are terrible. Their small maps are filled with valleys of death. Look at this, Octane. They have a small map, one of the smallest maps in the game, but yet they have rooftops that people camp and just stare out there, and you don't run to that valley of death. Same thing with Warhawk. Those two small maps, you can't run outside. There's windows, there's rooftops, you're camping. They're terrible. And I'm going to go back to past Call of Duties and show you guys which maps were small, which maps were loved. I can go back to Call of Duty 4. Look at this. The smallest maps were Shipment, Crash, and Vacant. Those were the three most played, most fun maps out of Call of Duty 4. A lot of people love those. A lot of people enjoy those. Every time those are up, people pick them because they were small and people enjoyed the small maps. If you look at their big maps, Downpour, Block, and Overgrown. They said Overgrown was a fan favorite. Fan favorite of who? That map was a piece of shit. There's massive. You camped. There are snipers that just hardscope across the map. I don't know how that was a fan favorite that they recreated into Modern Warfare 3, I believe. That was a bunch of pile of crap. Those maps sucks. Downpour, terrible. Block, people just camped on the opposite sides of buildings. Fucking huge maps are awful. Shipment, Crash, Vacant, amazing small maps. Look at Modern Warfare 2. Rust. It wasn't It was not in most of the playlist, but it was one of the fan favorites because it was small. It was action packed. Scrapyard, small, a lot of fun. High Rise, very small, a lot of fun. If you look at their big maps on Modern Warfare 2, Derail, Wasteland, and Underpass, all three of those maps were constantly skipped, constantly left. People did not enjoy those maps. I only heard of snipers enjoying Wasteland, and the other two maps were just terrible. No one enjoyed them because they were too big. They were boring. Look at Black Ops 1, Nuketown, Firing Range, Summit. Three of the smallest maps on the game, as well as was it Grind? No, it was Grid. Grid, the smallest maps in the game. People enjoyed, always picked those, always played them, had fun with those because they were small and enjoyable. If you look at the big maps on Black Ops 1, Array, Crisis, and Jungle, they were huge. Always skipped, always left. People did not enjoy it. I never heard of anyone enjoying those three maps. Now, if you have, let me know. Look at Modern Warfare 3, Dome, Hard Hat, Underground, the three smallest maps, the three most maps, the most played maps. People always pick those. Every time they're up in rotation, those are always picked. I wonder why. If you look at the big maps on Modern Warfare 3, Interchange, Downturn, Carbon, three of the biggest maps on the game, three of the biggest maps that were skipped. People did not play these maps for a reason. They were big. They did not like them. Black Ops 2, the three smallest maps are Nuketown, Raid, and Hijacked. People always pick those maps. Every single time they're in rotation, one of those three maps were always played. Because, why? They're small, they're fun, they're action-packed that people love in Call of Duty. If you look at the big maps on Black Ops 2, Aftermath, Turbine, and Yemen. Who the hell picked those 3 maps? Ever. No one ever wanted to pick those maps. If they came up in rotation, you left the game. I don't know how many people actually played and stayed those 3 maps. No one. No one ever played those maps. They played the small ones, the ones that people had fun with. And you look at Ghost, is no difference. Strike Zone, Warhawk, Octane, the 3 most played maps, the only maps that people really play. Yeah, there's some middle range ones, but the rest, you have Siege, Stonehaven, Stormfront, Chasm, whatever the hell you say it, Whiteout. Those are massive maps that are huge and no one wants to play them. I understand you guys created these maps in perspective of next generation consoles and having Ground War. I have a next gen console. I play Ground War, and Ground War is still slow as shit. It is still boring. It is not exciting to play these maps. It is still boring. It's still slow. People camp on these, and they're just too big. You're trying to be like Battlefield and make massive maps that people enjoy, but those maps are not designed for 6v6. They're not designed for 9v9. They're designed for like 16 on 16 and above. That is the only way these games can be exciting. The maps can be exciting, but otherwise, these maps are terrible. Like what I said, Call of Duty 4 had amazing maps that were all small that people always played. Every single Call of Duty, people love the small maps. They never played the big maps. So why did you guys think it was a good idea to make 70% of your maps on this game to be massive and huge? Who thought of that? Why was that a good idea? People love the small maps. People enjoy the small maps. So why did you make your entire game filled with big maps? And then on the small maps, you make it so easy to camp and so easy just to be a bunch of little bitches and hide. Look at the roofs on Octane. Look at the windows in Warhawk. You create a valley of death that no one wants to run out into. And small maps are still terrible because people can camp with those elevated sites. At least for Strike Zone, there's no elevation. There's no windows. There's no rooftops you can really camp on. That's a decent map, but it is exactly like Dome. You're not even creative. You don't even create your own map. You create Dome again in a different lookout, a different style. It's still the same maps. You guys are not creative. You're supposed to have dynamic, awesome maps that people enjoy, and that is the biggest lie you guys ever told. These maps are terrible. They're not fun to play. I don't get why you made these maps. People like small maps. You have your statistics. I know you guys look at your statistics. I know you guys care about what people enjoy, and whoever said let's create all these huge maps, you should be fired instantly. If you guys have DLC coming out that are big maps like the ones that they have on the game right now, you need to delete those. Get rid of those. Start new. Create small maps. We want to see small maps. We don't want to be playing these huge massive maps that are boring. They are not fun to play. Again, who thought of this was a great idea to make massive maps? Call of Duty is all about small, fun, fast-paced action. These maps are not fast-paced action. They're slow, boring, and people camp on them because they're too big. They're too scared to run out there and die. It just blows my mind why you guys thought this was a good idea. The most played maps on each of these games, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, they're all small maps. The most enjoyed maps were all small. The most hated were all big. And you guys make 70% of your maps massive. Good idea. Great thought process. Great job. Create an amazing game that people are going to love and enjoy. As much as I loved Call of Duty in the past, these maps are just terrible. I don't understand why you guys think these are good maps. Go back to the basics. Go back to the small, enjoyable maps. I understand you have to have big maps every now and then because people don't all love the small maps. But the majority of your community, every time people want to play this game, you don't want to be bored. You want to have fun. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. You guys are supposed to be smart. You're supposed to be the smartest and best game company out there, and yet you don't understand what your public likes. You don't understand anything that people enjoy. It just blows my mind. I don't get it. Why is this a good idea? I just don't know. Don't make big maps. If you make big maps, make it 16 on 16. Make it something more enjoyable. I don't know anymore. I can't have fun with this game if it's going to be so boring. I have to be so aggressive to make this entertaining, and it's still slow. It's still boring. I don't know. You guys really screwed this game up. If you want to fix it, you better make the first DLC content small maps. Otherwise, you're going to lose so much of your community, which you guys already have. If you have not realized, Call of Duty has been down in the YouTube search, and it's been down. It's going to stay down and only going to get lower if you guys keep doing this. People are going to stop buying your games. It's all because of your maps. It's not fun. If you guys want to send this to Infinity Ward, it'd be great. I'm going to tag them in the title. Hey, you guys need to change something, and I'm tired of this. I'm done. I'm going to keep making videos, but I'm tired of complaining. This is going to be my last rant video, so I hope you guys enjoy this. Peace.